I think it's very difficult to put a finger on only one thing which went wrong, but it is very shocking for me. I could not even in my wildest dreams could imagine that we lose to New Zealand, and that to 2-0 in such a manner. I cannot actually fathom what went wrong, because the way we played against Bangladesh, I think probably overconfidence, and probably we were talking about beating Australia again this time. But the way things have panned out, I think the approach maybe is just not one person's dictum. It is the team senior management that takes a call how to approach a particular session or a match or a situation. So I think it is a collective blame. I will not blame the new coach or the new system. And this kind of just following the aggressive approach all the time comes back and bites you. We've seen with England happening. It was very successful for them at times, but at times when you keep on doing it, and when you are not knowing when to take the foot off the pedal, you actually look silly at times. And so I feel sorry for Gautam Gambhir to have this albatross across his neck now for this losing the series after 12 years, and that to a team which lost to Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka recently. And we are talking about again winning the World Test Championship. So in the backdrop of all this, I still cannot overcome this feeling that we have lost within 3 days.
Is the Indian medal honor just a toothless tiger? Is this time for coach last?
I don't think so that we can't actually label toothless tigers even after 2 or 3 failures. It's a solid start, and this is the best 11 we've got. We can't even say that, okay, some players were not available or something like that. These are home conditions. And New Zealand coming in, and their most potent spinner, Ejaz, not even coming to the party. And still we lost. And their spinners bowled better than us. Their batsmen showed better approach than us, which is shocking for me, because our players have grown up on these pitches. And I thought somebody will actually put their hands up and show some kind of grit and play dirty test match ugly batting. But everybody just kept on playing the shots, and that was baffling for me, because I'm sure the amount of cricket everybody's played, and even the coaches have got so much experience. Why couldn't they just actually take a step back and just take a leaf out of Kiwi's book? Because the way they approach on these turning tracks was a much better, much solid, much more pragmatic approach to batting on these pitches. And they actually walked the talk, and we were like, just left without any answers.
Now, if we talk about Washington Sundar, the main warrior of India, apart from Jaiswal, Washington looked far more competent than other Indian batters. Should he bat higher up in the order given the fragility of this Indian lineup?
Not really. I think we've got the players, but just suddenly this shift towards newcomers, and they've done well also. And we got some players who were injured, like Rishabh came back. So Jurel, who was batting well, is in the team, but in the warming the benches. I think we have to see the players who have got that kind of grit. Because Test match cricket is a different kettle of fish. We should not actually gauge the players across formats, and I think we have to see the lineage. And the times of Pujaras and Ajinkya Rahanes are gone, but we must identify players who are in that kind of a box, where they're willing to actually play that kind of unglamorous cricket, because that is what Test cricket needs. And basically the pressure of just playing shots and being flamboyant, because that is the way forward for glamour and riches and fame and fortune, because of the kind of demand from the public, actually makes even a player who's got that quality of grit and that kind of dour, just the way Pujara used to bat, that doesn't actually cut it for them, because they feel they'll be left behind. So I think Indian board has to find players who are compensated, but they are developed in this mold, and they should not feel that if they don't play the glamorous shorter format, they'll leave behind in riches and fame. So we have to find some balance. Otherwise, these things are going to happen again and again.
In Mumbai, what should be India's approach? What are the areas that they should work on to move on from the series defeat after 12 years at home? Does India have plan B?
I think, of course, we are still a good team. Just 2 bad matches, but I think they have to put their heads together, and some kind of accountability has to be there. You can't just keep on carrying on with the old reputations, because you've lost the series now. You've got nothing to lose. The Test Championship is still on the line. I think we are still in the run. I don't know the mutations and permutations of that. So World Test Championship now, New Zealand is out of the race anyway. But India, if they have to play aggressive, they have to be, they have to just be more responsible while aggressive. You can't just play aggressive. At times when the other team is on top, you got to be able to have that, swallow your pride and give it to them for a session or 2. It's a 5-day match, so let it be. So I think they learn from this, and the team management should actually take responsibility, collective, because the approach was not just the players' individual approach. It must have been a kind of a collective decision. And that collective decision, then the responsibility lies with the team management.
Lastly, did India miss the experience of KL Rahul in this game? Should he be back in the thick of things?
Not. I mean, see, if you have put him on the bench, so you got to give the other guy a fair chance, And he's a player who has got the pedigree, and I think just giving him this kind of a jolt might just work for him because he's a very sensible player. He's a thinker. He's not just somebody who's going to crumble. And I think bringing him back will be good because we're going to Australia, and we'll need him there. So I think KL Rahul has to be brought back in the mix immediately.